Welcome back, everybody. Here we are, two newbies exploring A Course in Miracles. Chantal, I'm saturated. How about you?
Yeah, okay, so everyone, me and Jenny are both behind.
Yep,
I think
we're
I
behind and we're okay with it.
I Googled it. We're roughly like I think 10 days behind-ish,
Something like that. Yep.
a week to 10 days behind. Um, I Warner, Jenny, you talk first on this. We're
Sure.
behind.
We're behind. And we've used the word saturated before, but just as a little reminder, for me, saturated means I'm just full. Sometimes we've been saturated with A Course in Miracles and we chatted about reading the text and how many pages we could get in before we just felt saturated with what we had learned, what we could feel, all of those things. And life has been just a little saturated. All things are good. It's just busy. And what I've noticed, if I'm busy and at home, I can still do this. If I'm busy and I'm traveling, it falls away quickly. I go with the best of intentions. I set myself up sometimes. There's definitely been times when I've like not set myself up well. The last few times I've set myself up well and still really struggled to get to each new lesson. Now, that being said, what I feel though is it's not as if I have felt like I've stepped away from the course at all. I'm still very much so in it, very much so living it, very much so the lessons are still inside of me and I'm still doing them. I'm just not on the current one. And just, like Chantal, you've chatted quite a bit about like that perfect student, that ideal student, and just letting go of that and going, do you know what? It just is. It just is. And I played around with the idea of, oh, what if because when I've gotten behind before, I think I was like 4 days behind or 5 days behind, and I did half days. I spent a half day on each lesson and got myself caught back up. And I thought of doing that again this time, and this time it doesn't feel right at all. So I'm not going to do it that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to just stay one by one, enjoy each one, and having gotten back to it, it feels really good again. And I was just thinking how we've talked to about that. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's just like, it feels like we're like in the woods maybe, and like that's, I guess probably marathons aren't probably run in the woods, and there's no fans, there's nobody cheering right now, and there's nobody around, and we're just on our own and still just plugging away at this marathon. And we've gotten tired. Maybe we need a little water and a little bit of protein to be able to keep going. So
Yeah.
that's how I'm feeling right now. How about you?
Yeah, I'm finding that so I've started with a new coach last month. And the coach has me listening to hypnotherapies, meditations in the morning and in the evenings. And I find doing that on top of A Course in Miracles is really tough.
Yeah.
Um, I've also been teaching a lot more meditation workshops than I have in the past. That takes a lot of preparation. I've introduced a new program and have been getting a lot more calls with the new program. So that like there's just been a lot going on this month, but in
Yeah.
general I feel like I can't put my life on hold for A Course in Miracles.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I feel like I've held space for a really long time, and I'm coming to that time where it's like I don't think I can hold space for it much longer.
Yeah.
Right, like come.
Not as the big main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Jenny and I kind of had a chat the other day about this, about how I'm a really avid reader. Like I read one book a week, or I used to until I started A Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
And now I can bear like, okay, and I read a lot of like manga and graphic novels. Like I read a spectrum of literature. Even the manga and the graphic novels, which are normally the types of books that I go to when I'm feeling a bit like overwhelmed with other things and I don't have it in me for like a deeper novel.
Yeah.
Um, can't seem to get through those either. So
Wow.
it's just, yeah, like my brain can only focus on fluff, and the type of books I've been reading have been so surface level. And
Mhm.
I'm talking about like Kindle, the free section is what I'm reading now.
That's what I've been doing too. Even my audiobook, Chantal, even my audiobooks are all the free stuff on Audible because I can't handle much more. The number of novels that I've picked up and started and went, this novel's terrible, and set it aside. I have not gotten rid of any of them. It's just, I can't handle it right now. And so they just went back on the shelf. And I'm just reading fluff. Like it's the beach reads.
Oh, mine's like not even beach read. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's worse than that.
And I don't read as much as you. I am an avid reader for sure. I'm an avid Audible listener. I've even noticed, like, yes, my like quote unquote quality of what I'm taking in is less right now, but also how much time I'm spending on it. Like there's times that I'm doing things that normally I would have been listening to Audible, and I just can't. Like I can't take any more in.
Yeah, the stuff that I
No
read.
podcasts. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not listening to podcasts right now. Not even the quilting podcast that I adore. Haven't listened to it for, I don't know if I've listened to it since we've started.
I find like even okay, television,
Mm-hmm.
podcasts, books, because like also with the books I read, I use a screen reader. I multitask. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I it's like the type of stuff that I don't care if I didn't pay attention to 90% of it. Like that's what I have. That's the room that's left in me.
I like that. That's the room that's left in me for taking information, for taking that type of information in,
Yeah.
right? At the same time, both of us have expanded our businesses. We've learned tons of other things in the realm of doing that. Like we've done all sorts of other things. And so we're reading fluff right now. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. Thank you to the fluff writers.
Oh, 100. Thank you to the people who like have written their first novel. I'm sure I've read it by now.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, such appreciation for something that just it's there and it's entertaining, right? And it's lovely in its moment, and that's great. That is just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find like with this, there's only like this is also where for me there's only so long I can keep this going.
This
Right?
pace, right? Yep.
Yeah, like I'm missing watching a really intense film.
Yeah.
I'm missing reading like a 12 book series that's really complicated and that you have to write notes because otherwise you have no clue what's going on.
So do you know what this reminds me of? Okay, so years ago, there was this article in a magazine, and then I don't know if it was the same couple or not, but then I saw an interview with this couple. It was a married couple, and it was the husband's birthday. And what the wife decided to give him for a birthday present was a year of intimacy. Yeah.
What does
And
that
when,
mean?
and yeah, right. And they defined it. And I mean, having conversations with other people, it was interesting what some people think of as intimacy. It was interesting to me, anyways, because I love relationships and I love hearing people's take on things. And so for them, intimacy was, yes, like their sexual relationship, but it was also sitting and talking about something, just the two of them, and really heartfelt. It was a foot massage. It was having a shower together. It was going to bed early and reading together. Like they just really focused on their intimate life and relationship. And in the interview, they talk about how like they loved it. But as the year was drawing to a close, they were feeling really ready to move on to other things in their life. And they were missing things. And they were talking about missing really like some of their friendships, from some of their activities, and all of these things, because they really spent that year focusing just on their relationship, the intimate part of their relationship, the deep connection of their relationship. And that they were just like, man, this has been awesome, and I'm ready for other things.
Love you, but I don't need to be this intense with you all the time.
All the time. Because that is and they're like, it was a big commitment. It was saying no to other things, because no, we are planning to, massage each other's feet tonight, or whatever it was that they had in the books for their connection.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah, like what a beautiful gift.
Are they
right?
still together?
I hope so, right? Because this was years before COVID, by the way. And also they were a mature couple. Chantal's still cracking up. They were also a mature couple. They weren't a super young couple, and they also weren't in their 90s, right? They were a mature couple. Chantal cannot stop laughing. I love this. Are you just trying to picture what a year of intimacy would look like?
Picturing my year of COVID.
Not that we want to go down the whole COVID, rabbit hole, but I remember when things really were ramping up, and I said to Owen, some couples are not going to make it through this, and some couples are going to get really, really strong in it, right? Yes, and not to take away from anybody's experience during COVID at all, but it, so that's what this couple, like, it was kind of that microscope, right? That microscope on the relationship, and what they did with that time. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know, because it was years and years and years ago, where they are now with things.
Yeah. To bring this back to lockdowns a little bit.
Yes.
So my partner, he goes on tour with musicians all of the time. So for the majority of our relationship, I was used to him being gone for probably like a quarter of the year. He was just always on tours, and most weekends he'd be out at a club till 6 in the morning or whatever it was, but that was his like work life. And so when COVID happened, all the concerts ended.
Right.
And it was the first year where we were together for a whole year. And it was lovely, but to the point now where like I'm a little bit more independent, I must say. I miss him. I miss him when he's gone. And I realized that we became a bit like codependent during that year, where all of a sudden it became like harder to sleep without him, or he would really miss me. Like, and even now, like he will text me from the airport, like literally like half an hour after he left us, and be like, I already miss you. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
Very sweet, right? That connection, that strength in that connection. Yeah.
So I understand, like, a year of intimacy is beautiful.
And holy cow.
Yeah, that's really intense.
It's intense, right? It is. It's intense. It's sure something. And I'm curious too, like, if it's something that they talked about, or if it's just like he's along for the ride, like, or
did she just decide this for them?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's what this reminds me of. And just, and that you were just talking about the independence, like the independence in a relationship. And so independence from A Course in Miracles too, right? Like, I'm okay not having to be right there and in it.
Yeah.
And I think people being interdependent is a beautiful thing. And it's something that, like you were saying, you're an independent person, right? I am as well. And it's something that my mom so beautifully modeled for me and my sister. So beautifully. Because I grew up where it was my dad who was away. Like half the year typically is sort of what it equaled out to. And my mom just did an amazing, amazing job of showing us. And it was never really talked about, No, it wasn't. It wasn't like, okay, girls, this is an example of da 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 da. She just did it. That life continued on when dad was away.
Yeah.
And we did there was special things that we did when dad was away because it was just us girls. And then when dad would come home, it was always this, it was like celebration, it always felt like, because he was home. And we still did normal things. And there was special things that we did when dad was home. And so she really modeled that so beautifully for so many years. And my mom's a very independent woman.
Yeah.
And and hats off to her that she still is. And I love that for me and my sister, and I love that for my mom and for my dad. He could go and work and know everything was fine at home. Yes, we all missed each other, but all is well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that there is a really like deep beauty in that, where like there's so much love in being able to let people do what they need to do and live the life that they need to live, and to have that freedom as a couple. Like I
Yeah.
would never stop Matt from going on a job or whatever it is, you know, or like if he wanted to go traveling somewhere where I was like, not for me. Like, you go have fun.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. And isn't it great to be in a relationship where that happens?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? That support of, you want to go and try that and that, fantastic. You want to try that and you want me to come? Beautiful.
And I never realized that this is where I feel like your and my upbringing is somewhat similar, because my dad, he was away for half the week each week. So
Okay.
we lived in Edmonton and he lived in Montreal for half the week.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
he was constantly between the two. And so we had that like life without dad for like the first half of the week, and then he'd come back for like the weekends. Um, and but yeah, like my mom would always go traveling or whatever. Cause like my dad was really dedicated to work, like a bit too much so. But yeah, like if my mom wanted to go work, he'd be like, yeah, go have fun. Like he's like, I'm
Yeah.
tired of traveling. I flew so much this year. I cannot get on a plane. And so she would just go and like have the greatest trip. Sometimes she'd take us, sometimes she wouldn't. But we got to see that independence, where I remember when I was first started dating, there was this guy who he was training to be a firefighter. And I remember all of my friends being like, why would you want to date him? He's going to be gone for like, he's only back for like a week, and then he's gone for 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that to me is the dream. This seems perfect.
So what you're used to, having that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And having raised two kids, knowing that they also loved having time. Like, do you remember being a kid and having the house to yourself? You were just like,
Yes.
who did? Like, I loved that. My sister loved that. My mom loved it. I'm sure that my dad loved it when he had it. And it's something that we did here in our family too, was enjoy when you have the house to yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
I chatted with my sister about this and how we each approach that completely differently from each other. Because, okay, it was when we were teenagers, and because of the age difference, we weren't teenagers at the same time. And so because we're almost 10 years apart. And so how she approached it was, okay, mom and dad are gone for 2 days or the day or whatever it was. And this is the list of the chores that need to be done. She would wait, she would calculate just how much time she needed and then do them at the very end. She said, like, she knew that they would be like the last leg home, like on the ferry. My mom and dad live across a large lake. You have to catch a ferry to get to their place. And they'd be on the ferry, and she said she'd just be going wild, just getting stuff done super, super fast at the end. And I was the person. So she's the baby of the family. I'm the oldest of the family. I'm the one that got all the chores done first. And then I would do my thing, whatever it was, which is just funny to me too, just the approach. And we were never left with, do this on this day. It was never like, just, it needs to be done before we get home. No
Yeah.
problem. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like I used to like love playing music really loudly and just like singing as loud as I possibly could when I would be in the house all by myself.
Yes.
Loved that. There's just certain things where when there's no one there, you can be as wild and as silly and like no one's watching you. So you can really do
What is
whatever you want. And yeah, I would literally like, I'm surprised the like the neighbor circle of the cause. I would be like belting out so loud.
Love that. Do you know what? And so that reminds me, my late husband, that's what he loved to do. He loved that. Grew up in a house where music wasn't played a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But he loved music. He owned a lot of CDs and the tapes and like all the things, you know, all the different ways of playing music as we've progressed through the years. And I would, when we were first married, if I'd be like grocery shopping or I was at work and he was at home or something, I could tell that he'd played the music really loud, because any pictures that were on this big speakers that we had in the house were on the floor. they'd shimmy off and fall down, or yeah, just teetering on the edge. And it just made me giggle every time, and just thought, like, good for you. Just enjoy having the place to yourself and doing it your way.
Oh, that's so nice.
And it brings me back to A Course in Miracles of just do it your way.
Yeah.
You're still in it. Do it your way, feel your way through it, and enjoy the ride and the process as much as you can. Even when we're in the midst of it starting to feel like a real slog to finish, like, to here we go. And honestly, thank goodness, Chantal, that I have you that I'm doing this with to keep me going.
I feel like right now, this is like the time out of the whole book that I've gotten the closest to. If I wasn't doing with Jenny, I probably would have put it on pause now. Like
Right.
this is the month it would have gone on pause. And I don't know if I would have picked it up until January, to be honest.
Right. And really much so go, do you know what? I'll start again in the new year. And how many times do we do that with things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all sorts of things. So yes, grateful to be doing this together.
I know that the episode is about to come to a close, but is there any lessons you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I had a couple, because most of my notes that I had were all about about this. 292, a happy outcome to all things is sure. And I loved this. And I loved so much, I think it was Marianne Williamson's words, the divine guarantees joyful outcomes. It's up to us when it is reached. I just thought that made so much sense. Like, things are going to work out. All good things are coming. And it's up for us to decide when that is going to be reached.
This one I did literally yesterday.
And how was it for you?
So with this one, something recently happened in my life where, okay, so I'm working with a coach. I'm, working with manifestation and abundance, but also work, like, I myself outside of the coach is also working on my own spiritual practice and, working on my own intuitive gifts. But always this time of year, there seems to be this habit of mine where doubt creeps in, where I'm like, am I just imagining this all? And it tends to happen after a very, very real thing happens. So the other day I heard a sound like right behind my head. I'm not going to go into what the sound was, but I know I experienced that, and I know it wasn't an earthly sound. I know it wasn't a person, it was a spirit or something, but like, so I know that happened. I'm fully aware that happened. Yet, like, yesterday and the day before yesterday, I was so close to being like, am I just fooling myself? Am I just allowing myself to get really naive? Because when we did ICT, there was, I think, like, within like the first week, I didn't quite, I went into ICT not really knowing what I was signing up for. In all honesty, I just trusted it, and I was like, let's see what happens. Um, and for anyone who doesn't know, ICT was the intuitive teacher training course that Jenny and I took together. And I just decided, I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to believe this year. Like, whatever they say, I'm just going to believe it.
Remember that.
And whatever happens, happens. And I just made that decision where I was like, what is the worst thing that can happen if I just spent a year just believing what someone else says?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really got out of my own way. But then this year I started questioning myself where I'm like, am I really like, am I still just believing what everyone says? Am I like, like these like weird doubts start to come in. So with this, I totally agree with the happiness comes when we dictate when that comes in 100%. And right now I'm having thoughts and feelings where I'm delaying it 100%.
Right.
Because when I heard that sound and felt what I felt, oh my gosh, was it magical? And it was beautiful. And I felt so loved and supported by the universe. It was great. But here I am a few weeks later and being like, am I just fooling myself?
Right. And so, and you said it usually happens this time of year. Why do you think this time of year?
I think it's a time where we like get to like kind of go inwards a way more. And it's about kind of letting go of old patterns. And we're kind of like, I find with this time of year, I kind of always reflect like what hasn't been working, what is working, what are my desires for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like I start to also like so my birthday's coming up. So I think that kind of also has to do with it, where it's like, okay, I'm another year older. Like, what would I like differently for like, it's kind of like I feel like the fall's always like my like resolution, New Year's resolution time, where like I take stock of everything kind of in the fall. And yeah, so like I've been taking stock, and it's just sort of, and that's where, like you start to see, okay, there's some disappointments, there's some things that aren't working out. Like, I don't know if I've talked about it much on the podcast or not, oddly enough, but like, my stationery company really hasn't been doing well at all. Right. And so it's like, okay, what have I gotten in the way of that being more of a success? Or like, what are some of the issues? Is this still my path to be on this or not? And and also like I felt so divinely guided into that stationery business, but here it is and it's not doing well. And so then, that brings up questions, right? Because it's like, well, do I still want to continue this in the following year? Right. So there's, I think, yeah, that's kind of why it comes up this year, is that it's the time where I start taking stock of my stuff.
Right. And like you said, fall helps us to do that. Things slow down. Summer's, all the summer fun and wildness and craziness is done. And we slow down and we start going inward again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with a birthday in there, that would really ramp that up for somebody, right? That's an understandable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about this is, so my partner is really not into spirituality, but whenever I have moments of big doubt when it comes to spirituality, he will play some movie or say something where it will be like, yes, it is so real. And he'll bring me and he'll bring me back into it. Like no one else has been able to do it the way he does. He doesn't even know he's doing it.
That's so beautiful. Isn't that funny how that happens, right?
Yeah.
And it just shows again that we choose our people for a reason. There's all these reasons and those soul contracts and all of those great things that are involved in relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Speaking of relationships, so lesson 288, it was let me forget my brother's past today. And when I heard that, when I read that one, I was like, man, isn't that so the truth? Because like I'm working to not live in the past, like my own past.
Mm-hmm.
But why am I still keeping people in their past and their boxes that I've put them in the past, and holding them there and not allowing. And do I do it all the time? No, of course not. Do I do it with everybody? No, of course not. But it's the ones that I do that with. I was like, allow the present relationship to be the present relationship. And do I want everybody else to remember me and my past, especially its past errors, right? In my past errors? No, I don't.
Yeah.
And so, it's letting people be their present self and forgive. And what is the word? So forget my brother's past. Let them be who they are. And again, it's Marianne Williamson. I think that she was talking about how when we do that for others, that's when we then do it for ourselves, because then we're present as well.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a tough question. Well, I think
Okay,
this is tough.
I'm ready.
So, you want to forget someone's past. How much of their past do you forget? Is it like yesterday and on, like, onwards, or is it like a
Yeah,
year ago
right.
onwards, or like when does that start? When does the past start for you?
I guess the past is any past moment. And at the same time, like if somebody has actually treated you badly or hurt you or those sorts of things, do you just keep resetting? Like, no, but in the present moment, it's okay. Like, right?
And this is where like me and my like naivety right now is really questioning things.
Yeah.
Right. And so like because again, like when I read this, it was sort of like, okay, I get that and I want that and I would like that. To
Yeah.
me, this sounds like a beautiful ideal right now, where it's like
Sure.
I like that theory. I like the concept. Or is it just me being really naive? Where am I just forgiving someone always and always and always? And I mean, of course, Miracles is all about forgiveness.
Yeah.
Is it? Because this uses the word forget,
Yeah.
right?
Which
And
is different than forgive.
yes, yes. And I find I can forgive, but to forget is different. But can you truly forgive without forgetting? I don't know.
I don't know either, because if you forgot it all, then maybe you'd forget then do you also forget the forgiveness?
Yeah, I don't know. Because
And then is forget just not having it in the forefront right here? Because we don't want to forget everything. We don't want to not have our memories. We really, really don't. I had an interesting conversation with somebody about Alzheimer's, another energy worker about Alzheimer's, and just we don't want to forget. We don't want to forget everything. We want to forget that event and that time and the time that this and this happened. And sometimes those like errors that happen end up being those really funny family stories that people really like and have a little chuckle about.
yeah.
Right? The vacation that went totally sideways, and the time the Christmas tree caught on fire, or whatever it is, you know? And so we don't want to forget. And that's why I stumbled on that word too, because I think I go to forgive right away
Yeah.
instead of forget.
So if this was
Hopefully I didn't write it down wrong.
Did you write it down wrong?
I don't know.
Oh.
You sounded
yeah,
very brave when you said that.
if we were to change this to, instead of let me forget my brother's past today, to let me forgive my brother's past today.
Yeah.
I feel like the forgive my brother's past would, I feel like I could actually do that.
Right.
Like,
Resonate more. So I've
yeah.
written it down twice as forget. My book is right there. I got to check now, because I'm really curious. I'm curious, and I'm curious about both of us being once again triggered by a word, right?
Yeah. Because what's
Yeah.
very interesting is, so they have, I don't know,
Forget.
like, you know, when they go like a bit like italicized and a bit different.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna call that like the prayer. I don't know what else to call that section.
That's how I thought of it too. And that they switch it back and forth between the two, which I don't understand, but that's okay.
The bottom of it says, forgive me then today.
Yeah.
And you will know you have forgiven me if you behold your brother in the light of holiness. So it goes straight into forgiving. But do we have to forget in order to forgive? Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe forget is the letting go of the hurt, the betrayal, the darkness with it. And it's remembering the forgiveness and the light instead.
Okay, here's another question. Like when you think about forgiveness or radical forgiveness, like, okay, from my perspective of it, is I can forgive someone, but that doesn't mean I still have to be their friend.
Oh,
right?
1000% agree.
But it's just like, let's unburden this. Like, I don't want my like grade 5 bully to still have all of this power over my life.
Exactly,
Right?
Chantal.
So it's, to me, like that's where like the forgiveness is. And maybe that's part of the forgetting is like, in a weird way, to me, I feel like that the forgiving comes first and then the forgetting happens. Where once I forgive my grade 5 bully, I actually stopped thinking about them so much. And when things happen that would have in the past reminded me of them, it doesn't trigger me, or I don't get reminded of them so much anymore.
Are not in the forefront anymore.
Yeah.
And I think when things come up into the forefront is those past items reminding us that we've got work to do there and that we're ready for it. Right. And so if the grade 5 bully is showing up and showing up and showing up, it's time to do another layer of work. And then it goes into the back again in the realm of that forget, because you've done more forgiveness, and then it switches back, it goes back.
Yeah.
And it isn't right there anymore. Because we know what it's like to have a trauma be the forefront, and you're trying to live your life and trauma from the past is in the forefront. It is the hell on earth that the A Course in Miracles talks about.
Absolutely.
That's what hell is, right? And then when we do the work towards forgiveness, that is what heaven on earth feels like, because of that unburdening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think a person needs to, that forgive comes before forget.
Yeah.
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 And just, again, a play on words, right? Like, how does that,
I think also like this lesson here makes sense why it's coming so far into the, but like it's lesson 280, it's not lesson 10, right? Like so I feel like that we've done a lot of forgiving practice. I'm probably just not there yet for this lesson yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And isn't it beautiful that there's nothing wrong with that?
Oh, totally.
Right. And there wouldn't be anything wrong with it if you practiced A Course in Miracles for 5 years and it was still a sticky lesson for you. There's nothing wrong with that. Which I appreciate as part of the course, is that there isn't, there, you've mastered it, check. It just doesn't work that way. Well, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just think Jenny and I will slowly,
Yeah,
we will see if we end this on December 31st or not. I'm not stuck on ending it on that date. Whenever
no,
it ends, it ends.
I don't think either of us are married to that, and that's an okay thing.
Yeah. So for anyone who is listening to the podcast, just for a concept of time, it is October 30th today, and we are hoping to launch the podcast this week.
Yeah.
Well, we will see if it happens. I know that we've been talking about it for a while now, but it is recorded now. It's been said.
Yes, that's right. Put it out to the universe in a bigger way.
Well, it's been so nice speaking with you, Jenny. And thank you everyone for joining us today on Two Newbies Exploring A Course in Miracles. We'll see you in the following episode.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.